What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C4 here. I'm recording this after the player grade video, but you will be seeing it Monday. It's my reflection video, if you will, my nice little personal one-on-one reflection. That sounds kind of homo, but yeah, we'll probably brand this as a fifth down. Yeah, it's gonna be defeat Monday. Usually we have victory Monday. It's defeat Monday, talking about the 29-23 loss to the Dallas Cowboys. And, I've probably already said a couple things in the comment section on the player grade video. We'll say discussion. We'll brand it as a discussion, but it was probably filled with defensive Eagle fans that are sore losers, and rightfully so. I'm not bashing you if you're upset against that loss. I was. And it's going to be filled with Dallas Cowboy fans that are homers and they're trolls. So that's going to be exciting. But at the end of the day, my unbiased opinion, I said in my pregame video where I labeled out the 10 things that are going to be keys to this game, if Philly's going to win or not. I said it's going to be a close fucking game. And I wasn't hyping like, oh my God, man, Dallas is going to get exposed. Dak's going to get exposed. Any of that thing, man. They're a good team. And after this game, I still cannot tell who the consensus better team is between the Eagles and the Cowboys. You're not going to know until Week 17 where we play them in the link outside. They're not going to be in that nice little Jerry world. And who's the best team? These teams are so evenly matched. It's very, very scary. So, unless Dallas absolutely fucks up everything and decides to go with Tony Romo, which they're going to do. They're going to fuck that. They should just be rolling with Dak Prescott. Even though Carson Wentz, to any football fan, if you're not a Dallas Cowboy fan, you watch that game, you'd say, yeah, give me Carson Wentz. If you told pick a quarterback right now, Dak Prescott, Carson Wentz, show him the tape from that game, you're going to go, I want Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz had a better game than Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott did not look very good at all in that game until the overtime game, so I guess you could throw it up to. He looked good when it mattered. He played well. That was, you're going to put that really on Dak? I would label that more on the offensive line. They relied on Ezekiel Elliott, and then you had the Eagles safeties collide with each other so that Jason Witten was wide open in the end zone, but he still had to make that throw. So Dak Prescott didn't have a bad game by any means, but he did not. I wouldn't say you can say he had a good game. Whereas Carson Wentz, you saw Carson Wentz, man. He is one hell of a quarterback. He's a better quarterback than Dak Prescott. But talking about the teams before the season started, say we're playing, man, Dallas Cowboys, their objective, Tony Romo was soon to be healthy, was, I would say, probably divisional round. They wanted to at least, make it into the playoffs and roll the dice and see where they could go. They're a team that is built to be a playoff contender. They're a team that is labeled the top team in the NFC East. They're a team that the clock is running out on Tony Romo, on Jason Witten. Dez Bryant's not getting any younger. Tyron Smith's not getting any younger. That defense, they're a hot and cold defense. They're a defense that plays 100% momentum based. They're not a good defense. Eagles have a much better defense than the Dallas Cowboys. But the Dallas Cowboys defense, don't get me wrong, they can play good. That's the thing. They have momentum shifts, and they can perform higher than I would say their talent ability because they have all that kind of momentum. Good play calling from their DC. So that's their Dallas playoff team. Philadelphia Eagles, this was a rebuild year. We just so happened to get lucky with Carson Wentz, who's playing. He's going to be Rookie of the Year. I'm calling that right now. It's not going to be Ezekiel Elliott. Congratulations, Zeke. He's a good player, good offensive line, but when you get 30 touches a game, you're not going to beat a quarterback. The volumes, your volume's too much. It's not his fault. I'm not going to come up and bash Zeke. He's a great running back. He's a better running back than anyone on the fucking Philadelphia Eagles has, even though Darren Sproles did look a little bit better than him. Carson Wentz is going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. But like I said, yeah, we're a team in rebuild. And the fact that game was so evenly matched, where Dallas is big, oh my God, they got the offensive line, they got everyone on offense, they got all those offensive weapons. The fact that us lonely Philadelphia Eagles, with our sorry-ass receivers and our horrible play calling from a rookie head coach, made that game down to the wire and took it to overtime, that just says, not only A, fuck, we need a wide receiver, but B, these teams are so close. So I'm going to take this moment to say, Eagle fans, don't be saying, Dallas got lucky, Philadelphia should have won that game, we're up by X amount of points, or Dallas fans. Well, I'm not going to tell Dallas fans what to say, because let's be honest, there's a lot of good Dallas fans out there, but then it's the retard loud ones, the trolls in all the comment sections, the ones that for some reason made their YouTube count Dez Bryant X all day, throw the X up. Those ones kind of, bring it down. There's shitty fucking fans in every fan base. But from that game, man, you can't say that in Week 17 when Dallas comes to Philly, Dallas is going to win that game. That game was very, very close, and these are the two top teams in the NFC East. I don't care what anyone says. We lost to Washington, but that was just an absolute shit show of a game. We're a better team than the Washington Redskins. It's going to come down to the wire between us and Dallas. And until Dallas immediately starts to suck once they go to the switch to Tony Romo, which they're going to do. Romo started practicing last week. Why wouldn't you just stick with the hot hand and Dak Prescott? But they're going to go Tony Romo. And I think that's when their season might get a little bit shaky with the quarterback controversy that they have impending. But for the Philadelphia Eagles, where do you go from here? You see in this game, this is my point I made in the player grade video, but I wasn't really addressing the Doug Peterson situation. The play calls were horrendous. Don't get me wrong. I could have went way harder on Doug Peterson. I think, where they could have kicked the long field goal. They threw the screen 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage and then decided to punt it. Even though Parkey made a 55-yarder, you decided to punt it when it was like a 53-54. That could have been potentially, the win. But yeah, our defense did everything possible. They unfortunately they fell apart when it mattered, but they were on the field a lot, and I can't throw that game on the defense. Doug Peterson, but I think Doug Peterson's shitty play calling is a reflection of the wide receiver, which is my bigger issue. There's the overwhelming people that are coming out and saying that this is Doug Peterson's fault, and I believe the play calling was very bad, but I do think the reason why the play calling was bad, it wasn't reflective of Doug Peterson himself. It was reflective of the wide receivers and Doug Peterson trying to compensate for them. We have no playmakers. I discussed it in the video. I don't want to in my old video about the player grades. I don't want to repeat myself. But this game here was the wake-up call. This is the crossroads for the Philadelphia Eagles. This is where you make the decision. Is this year going to be a rebuild? And we're going to see how far Carson Wentz can take us. Right now, man, Eagles, worst case scenario, we lose to Dallas. Dallas somehow comes first in the NFC East. That wild card spot, probably one of them, will be to the second place team in the NFC East. We're no longer the joke of the NFC. I still think we definitely are a playoff team, be it more likely through the wild card, unless, like I said, Dallas implodes after they make the quarterback switch, which will happen. Let's be honest. Jerry Jones is pretty much the second coming of Al Davis, a crazy owner. But yeah, this is the crossroads for the Philadelphia Eagles. You got the trade deadline coming up this week. So what you want to do is, do you want to risk it? Keep going with the guys that we have and hope to God that our good defense, great front seven, and great safeties, along with this rookie quarterback that will end up, I'm calling it right now, offensive rookie of the year. And always, put this way, even if Zeke Elliott was on the fucking Eagles and Carson Wentz was on the Cowboys, they always give it to a quarterback. So suck it. The crossroads, yeah. So do you want to go left and go roll with what we have? See what happens. Probably will continue to struggle down the road. And when close games like this, when push comes to shove, other teams with outside playmakers will beat us, and that will be our undoing. We're going to just, we'll ride into mediocrity this season, see what we can get, maybe squeak out a couple wins, and maybe go to the playoffs. Or now we see what it takes to win the NFC East this year. We saw Dallas is the best team in the NFC East. No other way to cut it, Eagle fans. Dallas right now are playing like the best team in the NFC East. They have the best players, they have the best offense, and they have a defense that can keep them in games. So you saw what it takes. If you tell me right now, Philadelphia, let's be fantasy booker here for a little bit, had Torrey Smith on the outside being able to get some separation on the field so that maybe we could, at the very least, run some slants to a wide receiver 2, a good wide receiver 2 in Jordan Matthews, not forcing him to be the wide receiver 1, which is failing at the moment. You saying that maybe if we had that, or we somehow made this bonkers fucking crazy fucking trade to get Alshon Jeffrey, what happens in that game? Do we make those conversions? Does the play call differentiate a little bit so we don't throw it beyond the line of scrimmage? We actually have confidence in our outside wide receivers that our franchise quarterback, can make those plays to move the chains, to not have conservative play calling. If we had good outside wide receivers, this Eagles team would be playing to win games, not playing to not lose. So that's what it was. That's what it was at the end of the day. Dallas had the playmakers so that their offense could play to win that game. Eagles were playing with the lead, not to lose it, because we don't have those elite playmakers. So this is a crossroads. The trade deadline is coming up. You can make a trade. No matter what. Do you want to win this season? Do you want to have this rookie quarterback have a future wide receiver, be it getting Torrey Smith and having his unfortunate, he kind of has a shitty cap hit over the next couple of years, or saying, fuck it. You know what? We're Howie Roseman. We're big ball Howie Roseman making outrageous trades. We're going to land Alshon Jeffrey because he's no fucking way going back to the Chicago Bears. You're going to make him an enticing offer so that he doesn't want to hit the market. You're going to somehow bribe his fucking agent so he doesn't want to do that and come to Philly and pay him some big time money, pay him some of that Sam Bradford money, pay him some of that Jason Kelsey money that he's going to be fucking gone. You're going to pay him some of that fucking Michael Kendricks money that he could be gone. Your Jason Peters money, he could be gone. There is going to be a fucking well of money that we could find to pay off Alshon Jeffrey for the next year. Crossroads. That's the point. Someone play that fucking song by Bone Thugs and Harmony. Play that fucking Crossroads song. Because this is where the Eagles are at. We're either going to roll with what we have and have absolute uncertainty whether we can make the playoffs, be it coming back and finishing strong and winning the division or getting that second wildcard spot, or do we trade before the trade deadline, bring in a wide receiver, and you saw what happened. This defense is the best defense in the NFC. I'm saying it right now. I think the Minnesota Vikings have better playmakers, but pound for pound, you saw our defense look better than Minnesota Vikings defense in that game that we played. And okay, worst case scenario, I think our defense has supplanted the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks are number 3. Eagles are number 2/1 with, fuck it. I'm not going to have a hot take today. I'm going to be a little bit of a pushover. Eagles have borderline top 3 defense in the NFC with Seattle and the Minnesota Vikings. That defense is good enough to win a Super Bowl. I'll tell you that right now. Even with that weak-ass corners that we have, that defense is a Super Bowl caliber defense. If we just had an offense that could stay on the field on third downs and not have to fucking throw it behind the sticks every goddamn difficult throw and have them try to make someone miss an open space, be it Darren Sproles or be it, Josh Huff or Nelson Brickhand Aguilar or Jordan Brickhand Matthews or Zach Brickhand Ertz, we could be a team to beat. And that is why I titled my video last night, Thank You, Dallas, because now you made those crossroads ever apparent. If we don't go for a wide receiver, this team is content with where we're at. And if you see them go after a wide receiver, they're signaling intent that, fuck it, we are going to win this goddamn division, or at the very least, get that fucking wildcard spot. So let me know what you guys think about it. Until next time, it's your boy C4 saying peace out.